F123's handling model has improved drastically since F122. However, getting the perfect start is still just as important as it has been in the previous games. And that's why I'm going to be helping you over the course of the next couple of minutes to get the perfect start on F123 to the point where even on 110 AI, you can still get better starts than them when you're on hard tires. So first things first, you're probably going to want to be as close to no traction control as possible. With the new handling model, most people are going to be able to jump down in terms of traction control. So if you're currently using full traction control, you could probably use medium traction control. And if you use medium traction control on F122, this is the year to get started with no traction control. The closer to no traction control you are, the more powerful that your starts are going to be, because you're not going to be bogged down by that traction control kicking in. So that out of the way, let's get to the actual starts now. So I've been doing some tests of my own, testing different RPMs on the starts, and I have found that anywhere from 7,500 to 8,500 RPM is a sweet spot for any conditions when it comes to the starts. I found that anything above 9,000 RPM at the starts, you just end up getting too much wheel spin in the first stage, and that can allow other cars to jump you during that initial stage, which isn't really good. So we've gathered that anywhere from 7,500 to 8,500 RPM is optimal for actually getting the starts. But what happens when those lights actually turn off? So once the 5 red lights go out, you want to smoothly apply the throttle until you get to roughly 60 to 70% in dry conditions, because by then you should already have full grip and you'll just be able to slam the throttle down the rest of the way so that you can be as quick as possible going into turn 1. In wet conditions, you pretty much want to do something similar, but you have to be more patient as there's less grip, obviously, so you're going to take longer to get to that stage where you have enough grip to just be able to slam the rest of the way. Now, I've also got a little bonus tip for you guys as well when it comes to starts, and that's how you should prepare your car going into turn 1. So if you're towards the front of the pack, or if you're even leading the pack going into turn 1, then you want to brake slightly after your normal braking point for that corner, because you're not going to be carrying as much speed going into that corner as you normally would. So you can afford to brake a little bit later, and that just helps you defend from anyone else that may brake later as well behind you. If you're in the mid pack, I would suggest braking at your normal spot, because obviously there's going to be cars in front of you. You don't want to go into the back of them. However, also you might actually end up picking up some spots from people who brake too late and go wide as well. And if you're towards the back of the pack, I actually recommend taking it easy, braking slightly earlier than your normal braking point, because there probably are going to be people who get into incidences in front of you, and you're going to want to have as much time to be able to react to that as possible. So if you brake slightly earlier, slows the car down a little bit. Anyone who makes any crashes or any mistakes or whatever, you can then just pick them off one by one as you go through the corner. Now, as I mentioned towards the beginning of this video, it is very important to get good starts, because that could determine what happens in the early stages of the race. If you find that you're just struggling in general when it comes to gaining lap time around the track, I highly recommend you checking out my track guide series, where I go into full detail in terms of turning points, in terms of braking points, and I even show you guys my telemetry data from RaceNet as well, so that you can see that, just to help you guys improve at those tracks that you're struggling at. Now, lastly, I would like to thank my channel members for supporting the channel. If you do want to support the channel, just past liking and subscribing, then make sure to check the join button down below for more details, and I'll see you guys in my next video.